What's up, guys, and welcome to a WWE Raw February the 2nd review. We're going to review Raw, or I'm going to review Raw, give you the results, etc. It's a full show review, if you like. So, yeah, we're going to get right started into it. And we're going to start with the opening segment, which was this Triple H announcement thing. The segment ran too long. It seems to be, I assume, a Vince McMahon thing. But the opening segments are most of the time miles too long on Raw and sometimes on SmackDown. This was a good 25 minutes long. And I understand that they want to get the hook in and they want to grab your attention, but you don't have to do 25 minutes to do that. And of sorts, the 25 minutes leading up to it meant that the actual thing he said at the end lost value as such. It wasn't as impressive and as exciting as one would assume because you'd waited so long for it. But the end result was actually a unique idea, with Daniel Bryan coming out and saying, you know, he hasn't had his rematch since he lost the title, since the title was vacated due to his injury, meaning that, you know, he's technically in line for a title shot. Seth Rollins coming out and saying, etc., etc., setting up essentially a match between Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins at the end of the night, which on most Raws would be the match of the year, a match of the night. This Raw, in my opinion, it wasn't. We'll get into that a little bit later. But Reigns was decent, very good on the mic. He didn't do a long segment on the mic. You know, he didn't do like a 5-minute little segment because that's not Roman Reigns. But what he said, like he said in the interview with Brock Lesnar, it worked, it was impactful, and it was good. And me, for one, I'm not going to talk about that yet. We'll talk about that towards the end as for what I want to happen. As I say, segment ran a bit too long. If it was 15 minutes, it would have been much more impactful and a really, really good segment. But all in all, not a bad segment and a unique idea to try and win some of the fans back over as such. Then what match did we get first to open the show? Guess what? Roman Reigns versus a Big Show, because we haven't seen that 20 million times. The weird thing about this was the fact that it started in the middle of the break. It started in the middle of the break, which I cannot remember a match that has started in a commercial break in my life. I actually cannot remember one. I'm sure there's been one in the past year, and I've just completely forgotten about it. But, again, that meant, like it says here on Thingy, you came back, you'd missed half of it. It was a short bout in respect to... It wasn't, because the commercial break made it as such that it was technically longer, but it felt shorter because there was a commercial break in it, and you didn't see half of it. Eventually, it ended up with a Big Show, winning, not cleanly, interferences from... I can't remember, I think it was Seth Rollins. I'm pretty sure it was Seth Rollins, in actual fact, who interfered. Obviously, J&J Security involved as well. And Big Show wins with the chokeslam, which was good. I like him winning with the chokeslam. I like to see him use that chokeslam as a finisher a little bit more than he currently does. The match wasn't great. As I say, we missed half of it, so we couldn't really see much. And, you know, they want to make Roman Reigns look strong. They want to make Roman Reigns look big. This feud has to end. It's not going to end at Fastlane because of the announcement of the winner out of Seth Rollins. Daniel Bryan will face Roman Reigns at Fastlane for, essentially, who's going to WrestleMania and facing Brock Lesnar. That means this can't end there. So it's got to end on a Raw soon. It has to be clean. It has to be a good match. And then they just have to move on with it. And they have to have Roman Reigns. I don't know who he's going to face. I would have thought they'll probably drag this out now till Fastlane, along with his new rivalry with, I'm not going to say who. We'll talk about that a bit more at the end. But as I say, we've seen this match so many times on SmackDown and on Raw. It is boring now. It is boring. Yeah, sorry, it was J&J Security distracting the referees and Rollins, hitting him with the briefcase. Oh yeah, I forgot it was a briefcase. So yeah. That was a good ending as such, but which then promoted the fact that Rollins could win tonight, setting up them two at Fastlane. So, all in all, not a bad match, but not a great match. The fact you've seen it so many times, it starts to lose its impact. We then had Curtis Axel come out about the whole justice for Curtis, about the fact that he should have won the Royal Rumble. He was never eliminated. He's a Royal Rumble winner. He wants to go to WrestleMania. Dean Ambrose comes out, clears him out of the ring, essentially. Curtis Axel actually fights back, which is kind of good. Dean Ambrose then eventually hits him with Dirty Deeds and challenges Bad News Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship, which for Dean Ambrose is probably the best thing he could do at this moment in time, because he's not in the championship picture. John Cena Rusev's another big feud. He's not involved with that. He doesn't seem to be involved with anything towards sort of Bray Wyatt and Undertaker. That's all done. So really, this is probably, at this stage, the best thing for him to do. What he'll do for WrestleMania, I do not know. Whether he can hold the Intercontinental Championship and then face someone, I don't know. But this is a great way. Dean Ambrose is over, and I like Dean Ambrose, and I think he's great. And I don't think it's such a bad thing. Obviously, I'd love to see him a lot in the high card, the main event stratus, but it's not as bad as it could be for Dean Ambrose. It's one of the best things he can do in this moment in time. We then had the Ascension versus GOLDUST. The match again wasn't great, wasn't given enough time in my opinion. And as I say, JBL pisses me off on the announce team. He really does, all through the night. The Curtis Axel thing, I can't remember what he's saying, but like, turn your TV off or change the channel or something he kept going on about. I was just, oh, for fuck's sake, shut up. And I know we're meant to not like heels, but you're not meant to dislike heels so much that you actually want to turn the TV off because every time you hear his voice. You know, JBL, he's done a lot for the business, etc., but he's getting on me bloody testicles, and that's the honest truth. As I say, this match wasn't great. Who won? Oh yeah, the Ascension won, which was good because I have to keep winning. Don't know what they're going to do with them. Really don't know. They've got the WWE have got it completely and utterly wrong with the Ascension since they debuted. Period. I'm going to say that like I'm American, and I don't I'm not, but I know you lot use that word all the time, so I just use it. Probably embarrassing because you probably never heard an English person say it, but there we go, just used it. But fact is, they've got it all wrong. The way they should have debuted them, in my opinion, and it's controversial, is there was a tag team championship match that night on Raw, because I can remember the Raw because it was one of the best Raws of recent memory. They should have interfered in that match, put the tag team on the tag team division on hold, and either gone for the championships, or the impact that they make would have been better, rather than squashing the Miz and Damien Mizdow. The New Age Outlaws thing didn't give them it gave them as much as it could, really. And as I say, don't know where they're going. They're great, in my opinion. They do great work over in NXT. And it's another case of coming up to the main roster and it buggering up. Big thing, though, with this one is it looks as if they are really going to be pushing this GOLDUST and STARDUST match at either Fastlane or Mania. And you would expect Stardust to go back to Cody Rhodes, and they teased that. They teased that tonight, and that was good. That was good. They've done that well on SmackDown. They've done that well on Raw tonight. It was good. It was impressive. And I'm actually really, really interested in seeing this match. This is a match that we've wanted to see for the recent WrestleManias, let's put it that way. We then had the whole John Cena welcoming back the superstars back. John Cena, I don't know what's happened to his eye, but John Cena didn't look great tonight. It was certainly swollen or something. I don't know whether he was meant to be in a match tonight or not. I suppose he probably wasn't. But basically, I keep saying, Cena welcomed back RYBACK and Dolph Ziggler because he hadn't actually been on Raw because it was snowed in last week. He also promised that he would beat Rusev, etc. He cut a little promo about that. Cut a little promo about them coming back. Stephanie McMahon came on. What's it called? Is it called a Titron? Oh, I'm so bad at thinking at the moment. It's retarded. Then announced that Ziggler would face Bray Wyatt. Rowan, who the hell did he face? Rusev, I think it was. And RYBACK would face who the heck? Luke Harper, that was it. So just announced some matches for them, which one of their matches was the match of the night, and another one was very, very good. A lot better than I thought it would be. Excuse me. I felt like probably, I don't know whether they deliberately didn't have Cena in action tonight. There was a bit later where I thought he could have interfered, but we'll probably get onto that in a minute. But that segment, it wasn't great, but it wasn't poor. At least that whole thing is over now. One of the most retarded storylines in WWE history. The next match, though, RYBACK versus Luke Harper. In my opinion, this was an extremely good match. They're back and forth. Luke Harper, great in the ring. RYBACK has got so much better on the mic, his character, his click with the crowd, the whole feed me more bit. I know some people don't like it when he comes out and he goes, wake up, it's feeding time. I think that's flipping brilliant. He didn't actually do that for this match, I don't believe, because he didn't come out because we were already out there. But essentially, RYBACK won in the end with shell shock. And as I say, for me, it was a really good match that I didn't think would be a great match. I don't think it lasted 2 segments. I think it was 1 segment. As I say, it's very, very good. The problem with these 2 superstars that are in this match is I honestly do not know what WWE Creative are doing with him. What's next for Harper? I haven't known since he lost the Intercontinental Championship. And what's next for Ryback? I haven't known since he was fired. There's no real direction with a lot of superstars at the moment, and that's what's really demoralising. Luke Harper, though, he's great in the ring. He's produced some of the best matches of recent months, really. The ones with Dolph Ziggler are amazing. And this was another great match. It wasn't match of the night. There were 2 that were better, but it was a good match nonetheless. Cesaro versus Jimmy Uso. When that's Cesaro. Again, I think this was a kind of unclean stroke, cleanish victory. It was a good match. It didn't last particularly long unless I'm thinking it, getting confused. It's so difficult with 3 hours of Raw to remember exactly what happened in each part of the match, but I think Tyson Kidd done something to Jey Uso outside of the ring, and then it kind of distracted Jimmy, and then, yeah, I can't remember how it ended, but every time Cesaro's in a match, in my opinion, it's great. I love Cesaro. I think he's fantastic. He is so good in the ring. You can't deny that he's another one that steals the show as such. And this match, the Usos versus whatever the hell you call Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, is it the... What did I hear the other day? The Uppercats. Not sure about that, but we'll roll with it. This match could be amazing. Probably will happen at Fastlane. Again, it hinted it tonight. It's going to happen. It's going to be great, and I can't wait. Moving on. Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt, which, whoa, by far was the best match of the night, and was an extreme... If it wouldn't be... I was about to say it was the best match in recent, sort of the last month or so. Probably wasn't, because a triple threat match at Royal Rumble. I just cannot talk enough about that. That was amazing. But this was... And this is what WWE should be. You could see Bray Wyatt winning, but at the same time you could see Ziggler winning. And the fact that Bray Wyatt won it cleanly, and it didn't make Dolph Ziggler look bad. It didn't make Dolph Ziggler look... Oh my god, what the hell are they doing with Dolph Ziggler? He lost clean to Bray Wyatt. There's none of that. WWE should look at that tonight and think to themselves, and this is something big for me, so-called heels, which is debatable whether Bray Wyatt's a heel, because he has got a connection with the majority of the crowd, like in the Royal Rumble, and he's doing that. I've got the whole world to himself. It's a fantastic match. I love Bray Wyatt. I absolutely love... He, at the moment, is arguably my favourite in-ring wrestler at the moment. I'm trying to think. I'm big on Lesnar at the moment. I wasn't, but I'm big on Lesnar at the moment now. But Bray Wyatt and him are probably, at the moment, my 2 big things. And I mean, I switch all the time, so don't get me wrong, but every match he's in is amazing. He done something to Dolph Ziggler on the outside of the ring, and I was just like, holy fuck! How's Dolph Ziggler... I don't know whether Dolph Ziggler was faked the injury on, I think it was his collarbone, or whether he was actually injured, I don't know. But it was back and forth, near fall after near fall. And Wyatt, the ending was sick. The ending was unique. It it came out of completely nowhere. He hit him with the Sister Abigail, got the pin. Bray Wyatt won. Dolph Ziggler looked extraordinary as always. Bray Wyatt looked amazing as always. Further looking at this Undertaker thing with Bray Wyatt, but please, I know that WWE aren't watching this, but why on earth do they not allow heels to win more often cleanly? Why is it that the only way heels can win is if they cheat their way, or if they're coming up to a big, huge match? As I say, this hasn't affected Dolph Ziggler at all losing tonight, in my opinion. He looked good winning. He'd have looked as good winning tonight as he did losing. Bray Wyatt losing tonight probably wouldn't have looked as good as winning tonight. You know, there's a difference. They can make heels. They can make heels win and not make the face look bad. They done it with RYBACK on a SmackDown when he faced Kane and Seth Rollins, and they can do it here. It doesn't always have to be this interferences and, you know, face always winning and face winning here, or only ever losing cleanly. It doesn't have to be like that. And the more they do that in the more matches, the more unpredictable it gets, the more we're happy about it, because we love the unpredictableness. And you know, as I say, I cannot speak of this match highly enough. I'm going to go and watch it again as soon as I finish the video, because it was amazing. Match of the night, I was about to say by far. Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan came close, but I love the ending. I say, I love Bray Wyatt. I love Dolph Ziggler and his in-ring work. Controversially, I'm still not sold on Dolph Ziggler's mic work. And to be fair, I still think he's a better heel than he is a face. And the big thing is, and I saw a report on it, are there heels and faces in the WWE at the moment? And do they have as much of an impact as such? Because a lot of people love Seth Rollins. And I understand that the Authority, yeah, that's hated. Rusev is hated because of the character. But like, as I say, Bray Wyatt, technically I think WWE, they book him as a heel, in my opinion. But he's loved by many people. Seth Rollins, similar. Is this heel-face thing, is it necessary to be classed as a heel or a face? Can it not just be some people love you, some people hate you? Which is, I think, the greatest way to be. And I think the only way they can do that, though, and it be effective, is if they allow, you know, it's unpredictable, and like matches like this where the so-called heel wins. I don't know, that's a topic for another video. This is a bloody long review. Jesus Christ. I'm going to quicken it up a little bit. But yeah, that's another topic for another review. Another video that probably didn't make any sense. Paige versus Alicia Fox. To be honest, lads, I cannot remember this match at all. I can remember the ending, that Paige wins by a pinfall, which you expected because they're building up this match at thingy. But they're never given enough time, and the commentators aren't interested in the matches. They're never given enough time. We know the match isn't going to be great at the pay-per-view, is not going to be given enough time. And if I was a diva, I wouldn't want to be on the main roster. I'd want to be in NXT. No doubt in my mind, I want to be in NXT. I wouldn't want to be... If I was Charlotte, I would not want to be coming up, or Sasha Banks, or Baylor. I wouldn't want to be coming up to the flipping main roster. It's getting pathetic. He mentioned it on his podcast, Stone Cold podcast to Triple H. Watch that. That was amazing. Probably do another video on that. But anyway, we're going to move on for that. Not much to talk about. Miz versus Sin Cara. Very average match, but the whole Miz and MIZDOW thing, it's just amazing, and it made this match 10 times better than it did. Sin Cara picking up the win in the end. Distraction of sorts by MIZDOW, but a kind of unintentional one, kind of Miz's fault. Miz played the character, Miz played his role perfectly, MIZDOW played his role perfectly. This match is either going to be at Fastlane or Mania. I hope Mania in one respect, although I'd like to see GOLDUST, STARDUST, and you doubt both would be at Mania. But yeah, it is. They're obviously going to break up. They're obviously going into this match. I believe MIZDOW is not now stunt double, he is now the personal assistant, which, I mean, it's just hilarious. I love MIZDOW. This is a great way to get him. He's already over, but to to be able to push Miz down and to send him on to something big. Anyway, move on from that match because we are extremely tight for time. Rusev versus Eric Rowan. Was meant to be a match, never actually started. Rusev, I think this was the best way to go, because when the match was announced, I was like, oh god, Eric Rowan's going to lose again. He's had a few losses recently, and you know, this guy's got, you know, it's really not looking good for him. As it was, Rusev just attacked him brutally, assaulted him, match never got started. Rusev looked strong. Eric Rowan didn't really get affected too much by it because it wasn't a match. He didn't lose, and he was attacked, blindsided. I expected Cena to come out, to be honest, when he got the accolade in. Didn't happen, which says to me Cena probably wasn't 100% fit, which you could say by his eye, but I don't think they wanted to bring him out, which was fair enough. Still not that pumped for this match, which is a shame. It is for the United States Championship, which I'm surprised that if what we expect with John Cena winning this, if they actually give this to John Cena, wow. Because I thought that maybe John Cena would be too big for the United States Championship in John Cena and WWE's mind. Obviously not, which is a positive in one respect. I just then think, who's he going to lose the title to? But anyway, we'll worry about that in later things. They're building it up quite nice. I'm not really that pumped for it yet, but I probably will be. It's probably it won't be the main event of Fastlane. Definitely won't, but it will be a big match at Fastlane, don't get me wrong. Then the main event, Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins, back and forth, great match. Daniel Bryan, technically brilliant. Any match he's in is pretty much good. Seth Rollins, any match he's in is pretty much good. These two have great chemistry. Could have told you that before they went in the ring. Together, they obviously would work together. Great match. Daniel Bryan wins, ultimately. And the way he wins, we'll discuss in a minute. It's Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at Fastlane. Whoever wins will be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania. However, now, I'm not changing my mind as such, because I still would, if going back in time, want him to do it. But I don't want to see Roman Reigns lose this thing. They're clearly not going to do a triple threat. Therefore, for me, Roman Reigns has to. And I think this is the idea of WWE doing it. They are doing this to make Roman Reigns look strong. They'll probably make Daniel Bryan like shake his hand or something at the end of the match. And it will show that Daniel Bryan can have a long match. Sorry, not Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns can have a long match. And ultimately, it will get him ready for WrestleMania. He teased a heel turn as such in a promo before. Roman Reigns, this was. Don't think anything came out of it. I think WWE probably shat themselves since the region to the end. The ending was sick. The match itself was amazing. The ending, Big Show flipping came out, didn't he? Like a twat. With a good proportion of the match left, just being a prick at the edge of the ring. I actually find Big Show quite funny at the moment. I think him doing this sort of stuff, I think it's quite funny. And then, holy shit, Roman Reigns, whether it was a camera angle, I don't know, but the spear he done on Big Show, holy fuck, I've never seen a spear like it in my life. And then he done it to, I can't remember, J&J Security, I can't remember which one he done it to, but Jesus Christ, that actually looked like, I know it probably did bloody hurt, but flipping heck, that made him look flipping strong. I'm not even joking, yeah, I was like, whoa. And then the other guy, the other security member, got into the ring, while the referee was like, telling Roman Reigns to stop fucking spearing people. Got the briefcase, looked to be hitting Daniel Bryan with it, referee clocked him. Roman Reigns super punched Seth Rollins that got back for him, hit him with the briefcase, and the match cost him the match against Big Show. Daniel Bryan hits him with a knee, which I don't know whether Seth Rollins sold that fantastically. I have to watch it again. I only watched it once, but at the same time, the match was fantastic, and I suppose I suppose he did sell it quite well. Gets the 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan, they're teasing it. I hope, in many respects, there isn't a poor reaction if what we expect, Daniel Bryan loses at Fastlane and Roman Reigns does it, because the WWE are of sorts putting their neck of the line if they're going to make Roman Reigns win, which in my opinion they should do. They shouldn't let the legitimacy of the Royal Rumble disappear. They picked Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. End of story. If they want to add someone into it as a triple threat, do it. Fatal 4-Way, do it. But do not take Roman Reigns out of the main event. I will be angry if they do, which, again, is controversial because I was angry that Roman Reigns is in it. But what I've seen from Roman Reigns recently, I'm still not convinced in ring, but on the mic he seems to be improving. And hell, let's give it to him for a year. He's not going to make a complete and utter catastrophe. It's not going to be as bad as The Miz and John Cena at WrestleMania 27. Let's be realistic. The fans will get behind it. People are pumped for it, especially after Raw last week. And yeah, a great way to end Raw. As I say, the podcast after was fantastic. Then you expect, I don't know, they could do it where this possible Daniel Bryan Ziggler thing, Ziggler cost Daniel Bryan the match. I don't know. I'm not saying that to try and spoil anything. It's just literally ideas that come into my head. Maybe Roman Reigns doesn't win. Maybe Daniel Bryan does it again. Don't expect it to happen, but you never know. But as I say, they're putting their neck on the line because they could get a similar reaction to they did at the Royal Rumble, although I don't think they will. It's clever from the WWE. All in all, Raw is a very, very good show in respect of... I actually put it... I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show. It plodded along. There were segments that you were like, this is poor. There were matches where you're like, this is a bit shite. You know, like the Roman Reigns big show. But Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, holy shit, that was good enough for me to make Raw amazing as it was. Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, you got two usual match of the nights in one night, which makes it a fantastic. Well, the announcement was unique. I want to see next Raw. I want to see the next SmackDown. And as I say, all in all, Raw, a very, very good show. And ultimately, people were pumped for that main event. There was stuff at stake. People were pumped. The ending was perfect. They got the ending to multiple matches tonight. Perfect. I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. The RYBACK match was fantastic, although they're directionless. And then the podcast after was sick. That's it then for the WWE Raw review on the 2nd of February even. And as I say, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Bray Wyatt, of sorts, called out The Undertaker. Whether we're reading into it too much, but it looked like Bray Wyatt called out The Undertaker. Oh my god, I cannot wait for this match. I know people want Undertaker Sting, but this is going to be amazing. I don't know who I want to win. I think it would do wonders for Bray Wyatt's career if he won, but at the same time, I don't want Undertaker to go 21-2. That would break my heart. Anyway, on that note, let's end the video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video, probably talking about whatever. Probably that heels thingy. Probably be getting the boys back on for another little podcast chat about the WWE. Probably at the end of the week. So I'll see you for that. Subscribe if you are new around here. And other than that, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.